Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I'm here with a severe weather briefing because today the SPC has put out an enhanced risk for severe weather in areas of the Midwest. Please subscribe. I did make 2 outlooks for you guys today, so please subscribe and leave a like for that. I would really appreciate it. And now let's go ahead and get started here. So we're going to start off by looking at my forecast today. I made this with AWIPS, of course. This is my outlook. So keep this in mind, this is my outlook, not the SPC's, okay? But I do have an enhanced risk in kind of a similar area as the SPC. I kind of agree with them. But I have an enhanced risk in northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, eastern Iowa, northern Indiana, southwestern Michigan, and a little bit of northwestern Ohio. I have a slight risk going all the way down to Kansas and all the way over to a little bit of Ohio and Michigan, or a good amount of Michigan. I do have a second slight risk in areas of eastern Colorado and a little bit of western Kansas right there. So this is my severe weather threat today. We're going to be looking at a pretty big area today and a lot of population. Chicago's in the enhanced risk. Milwaukee's in the enhanced risk. Detroit's in the slight risk. So those are some of the big cities that are in this enhanced risk today for severe weather. Now let's look at the SPC's forecast for today. The SPC has an enhanced risk in kind of the same area I do, although mine's a little smaller. I don't have it going as far south or into as far into eastern, or as far into Iowa. They have an enhanced risk right there and a slight risk. Their slight risk just continues. Mine kind of 2 different slight risks today. That's kind of the major differences. But the SPC has a 5% tornado threat in our enhanced risk today, and there is another 5% kind of by Colorado Springs, Colorado, Denver, Colorado. Wait, no, Colorado Springs isn't that okay? So we see that wind threat today. We have a 30%, not 30% significant though, not 30% seg. It's just a 30% risk for wind. And then hail threat, the SPC has put out a 15% seg by Colorado Springs. A little bit smaller area in Colorado. Now let's go ahead and talk about tomorrow. So this is my forecast for tomorrow. I did spend a lot of time making these. I spent a little bit over an hour making these, so please subscribe for that. I do have 2 slight risks. I have one slight risk in the northeast and the northeast for southern New York, areas of PA, northern and central New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and a little bit of southern Massachusetts there. Tomorrow, this will likely change in tomorrow morning's video a little bit. But I do have another slight risk in areas of Kansas, and Missouri, central Missouri. Kansas City, you're in that slight risk. Jefferson City, you're also in it. Topeka, I think you're in it. So yes, tomorrow I do have a marginal going from Colorado all the way up to the northeast, or to the east coast. That's a very big marginal risk for tomorrow. And I do have a secondary marginal risk in the southeast. It's not where the SPC put theirs for tomorrow. The SPC has one for like a lot of the southeast and a lot of the south. I have mine because I feel like some storms could be strong in Tennessee where we have better instability, and some storms could come off the mountains. The mountains can enhance some thunderstorms. Those could potentially go severe. So that's why I have a marginal risk right there for tomorrow. And then, this is the SPC's outlook for tomorrow. I feel like they're going to probably put a slight out in this area here. But I see there definitely being some storms that could likely go severe. But they have their slight risk here. Mine's further east than theirs, and it goes a little bit further to the north. Tornado threat tomorrow, they do have a 2% in areas of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Wind threat 15%, and hail threat is just 5%. Tomorrow we have a slight for wind. Then for day 3, we're not going to really talk about much. We just have 2 marginals. One that takes up most of the northeast and a lot of the mid-Atlantic. But yes, let's go ahead and get started by looking at the models. So we're looking at the NAM-NEST model here, the simulated reflectivity, to see what could potentially happen this afternoon. So we can see right here we have an area of spin going off in this area. That is a low pressure and MCV going on right there from it got triggered by last night's storms in that area to a little bit further to the west in South Dakota. We see now it's going to help trigger some storms. By 20Z, we have maybe some isolated hailers or storms that could be producing hail in southern Wisconsin, the northeastern Iowa there. but nothing really too big. I don't think our tornado potential is going to start until at least probably 21Z. Now 21Z is when it starts to look interesting. On the Namnest one, we have 3 kind of looking maybe supercellular storms here. We can see the southern one's the strongest. This is when the tornado potential could start to happen in southern Wisconsin. Now by 22Z, sorry, I'm just using Z times. That was 4 p.m. This is 5. I think we're going to be using Central Daylight Time. We see kind of start to have morph into a line like this. Milwaukee here, right there. Chicago's right there. You can see it's starting to form also all the way down to Des Moines. Maybe even some supercell action on the southern side of this. And by this is 6 p.m. here. We see this is definitely a pretty strong line. Maybe even some supercells going through northwestern Illinois into Iowa. And that's the reason we don't have a 10% today is because we don't really have the best shear that exists. And we don't really have the best shear ever today, and we don't really have we're missing some of the ingredients, like I said. And the storm mode is likely going to be a line. And today could even be a derecho. And by 00Z, this is 7 p.m. Central Time. We have our line went through Milwaukee. It's about to go through Chicago. It's pretty much all just a line by this time, but we might have some action going further down. That could be supercells in Iowa. Now by 8 p.m. here, we see this is a pretty big line going all the way from western Illinois. Davenport, Iowa, you got hit. And we can still see at MCV right there, the little low pressure. Right there, you can see the little swirl, kind of like rotating a little bit. If we play this out, you can see it. You can see it this morning. You can see how that moves east, kind of east-southeast, I guess. And then that goes through central Illinois. By this time, I think it's going to start to weaken around 03Z, and so that's why it's kind of died off into our slight risk area. It's not really in our enhanced risk area anymore because it seems to be weakening a little bit. There still could be some damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, though, in some areas. But then I have my marginal risk as far south as kind of this line as it quickly dies off. Not really quickly, it slowly dies off. And so there could probably still be some severe weather going on. Probably, I don't even know what time this is. This is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. We can still maybe see one severe thunderstorm warning, but it's more unlikely. Now, I do want to switch sectors here. Let's go to select sector view. Let's do the central. Trying to find the view I want. All right, here we go. It's perfect. So I have my slight risk in this area today. I can see. I think we could see some supercell action in this area today. I have my other slight risk right there. But I think we could see some supercell action as we go on. I did not connect my slight risk together because I feel like this area here is probably just going to be marginal risk. There probably only needs a marginal, but I feel like we could even maybe see a few, maybe one tornado in that area. We have a 5% there. I feel like we could see maybe 1 to 3 tornadoes. I think there's going to be some chasers out there, so we could probably have good confirmation if there is any. Now let's start to look at some of these severe weather ingredients for today. This is CAPE for this afternoon, 180 millibar ML CAPE. You can see, I like to look at this. We're looking at College of Dew page here. So we definitely got really good CAPE for severe weather today. We have values in our enhanced risk area of up to around almost 3,000, and almost 3,000 going all the way down to Kansas. So we got plenty of CAPE today. Yeah, we see that's about as high as it gets. And even at 00Z, we could have spots of 4,000 up in northeastern Kansas. Yes, all right. Let's take a look at 3-kilometer felicity. This is an important severe weather ingredient. By the way, we would be using pivotal weather. Pivotal weather has kind of screwed itself up. I don't really like it anymore. They put ads in, so every time you change your severe weather, or like you change like what you want to look at, I guess what like parameter you're looking at. If you're looking at like CAPE and stuff, you want to look at like supercyclone positive. You change that, and you have this annoying ad at the bottom of your screen. It takes up like 1/4 of the screen, not 1/4, but it's just annoying. And some of them are pretty inappropriate, so we're not going to be looking at that. The only way we're going to be looking at pivotal weather is for soundings, and I might put some of their things in my slideshow, like I did 2 days ago on that video. But By 00Z today, we see we have good helicity up in Wisconsin, in the Indiana, and the Michigan, and Ohio. Highest helicity is in Ohio. But in our enhanced risk level, we have that. We have pretty good enhanced risk, or not enhanced risk. We have pretty good helicity going all the way down, or okay helicity going all the way down to Colorado. Now I want to look at mid-level lapse rates for today. So mid-level lapse rates for this afternoon, they're okay. I feel like we could have some pretty big storms, pretty large hail in Colorado. We have really good lapse rates, but I don't feel like hail's a giant threat in our severe weather area today. I don't feel like it's the biggest threat. I feel like we could see some storms of hail, but it's not big. We don't have really good lapse rates, which can play a part in hail. We could still see hail, but I don't think it's going to be big hail. Yes. All right. So now the last thing we're going to look at is dew points. So this pretty much gives us how much moisture we're going to have. This is really important for severe weather. So you see in Colorado we only have dews in the 50s. That's okay for Colorado. For severe weather, it's not the best, but it's okay for them. But we have dews in the 70s going all the way up to Kansas, all the way up through Wisconsin, right there. A lot of moisture with this. We have enough moisture for storms to go off this afternoon. I mean, see, we have really good dews, maybe even dews around 75 in some areas of Iowa and northern Illinois. So moisture is definitely not a problem. Moisture and instability is one of the main problems in the winter, in the early spring, and in the fall because it's winter. And it's cooler outside. Normally there's a little bit more clouds of severe weather setups that time of year. Let's stop talking about that. Now I want to go take some soundings. Okay, so let's take some soundings here for today. This is 21Z. We can see our storms in Wisconsin. This is the same thing we were looking at in College Dew page. It's just some pivotal weather. But of course, if we switch through anything, we'd have a bunch of annoying ads. But this is slightly contaminated, so we can't look at that. All these soundings in the NAM 3 kilometer contaminated heavily. All right, that's a none sounding. All right, so let's just move on to 00Z because they're all contaminated. All right. This one's slightly contaminated, but this is a Tor sounding in northern Illinois. It's slightly capped, which is okay. 71-degree dew point, 83-degree temperature, decent Cape parcel. Directional shear is garbage. But we do have some slight shear. This is a Tor sounding. That's enough for a 5% risk right there. Let me see. Still stick at 00Z. Let's take one down more further down the line in Iowa here. Marginal severe. That's contaminated though, so we can't really look at that. Let's take one kind of in southeastern Wisconsin. Tor sounding, but that is way too contaminated for us to even look at it. Okay, this is an issue. I haven't really noticed this before, but for some reason now the NAM 3 kilometer model, you have about a 33% chance of actually getting a sounding that's not extremely contaminated. Okay, so let's move on here. This is when the line's starting to weaken pretty good by 03Z. You can see it's still there. Probably still some warnings going on. Let's take one right in front of this. Marginal Tor sounding in Michigan. Enough for a 2%, it looks like. Directional shear is not terrible. There's a little bit of turning. It's not a whole lot though. Marginal Tor sounding, it's really capped though, so that could prohibit supercell development. But it's gonna try to weaken the line. But let me see that. Let's take one for western Illinois. Severe sounding, not bad, slightly contaminated. Alright, so let's take one for northwestern Indiana. Tor sounding, still. Directional shear is okay. It's kind of not good. Yeah, that'll wrap up this video, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys will have a good Friday, and I'll be posting again tomorrow for tomorrow's severe weather. Yes, peace out.